The recent coup in Niger has once again exposed the fragile nature of democracy in West Africa. As the Economic Community of West African States, Ecowas nations, led by Nigeria, attempt to overthrow the coup leaders in Niger, one cannot help but question the motives and consistency of this intervention. This analysis seeks to scrutinize ECOWAS' response to the Niger coup, highlighting the organization's historical inaction in similar situations in Mali, Burkina Faso, and elsewhere. We will shed light on the significant support the Niger military is receiving from its people, raising doubts about ECOWAS' judgment to intervene. ECOWAS' sudden urge to intervene in Niger Republic raised eyebrows, at least among Africans, as similar coups in the region have occurred without the organization taking decisive action. The Malian coup of 2020, which overthrew President Ibrahim Boubacar Keïta, is a prime example. ECOWAS issued statements condemning the coup and imposed sanctions. But these measures were largely symbolic and lacked any substantive impact. The Burkina Faso coup in 2015, which ousted President Blaise Compaoré, saw a similar lack of decisive action from ECOWAS. These instances underscore a pattern of selective intervention within the region, raising questions about ECOWAS' commitment to upholding democratic values consistently. The coup in Niger Republic has witnessed significant support for the military from the country's population. Massive demonstrations in favor of the coup leaders have taken place, indicating a level of discontent with the ousted government of President Mohamed Bazoum. While the legitimacy of the coup can be questioned or debated, it remains crucial, ladies and gentlemen, to acknowledge that the Niger military is not facing widespread opposition from its own people. No, they are not. They are not. ECOWAS intervention, therefore, overlooks the complexities of the situation on the ground and dismisses the sentiments of a significant portion of the population. This raises doubts about the true motives of ECOWAS intervention in Niger Republic. African analysts argue that ECOWAS' planned intervention in Niger is driven by a desire to appease external influences, particularly the French. The historical relationship between the West and ECOWAS suggests that the latter may be acting as a proxy for foreign interest. The West has long sought to maintain control over the political dynamics in the region, often at the expense of genuine democracy. By intervening in Niger Republic, ECOWAS may be seen as aligning itself with Western agendas rather than prioritizing the interests of West African nations. This perception undermines ECOWAS' credibility as an impartial regional organization. Of course, the African Union cannot be left out. Another factor that cannot be ignored is Niger's extensive natural resources, particularly uranium. Niger is one of the world's leading producers of this valuable resource, and its geopolitical significance cannot be overstated. The West has consistently shown a vested interest in controlling access to and exploitation of Niger's uranium reserves. Ecowas intervention, therefore, raises questions about the extent to which the organization's actions are influenced by economic considerations. It is crucial to examine whether the protection of Western economic interests is being prioritized over genuine democratic values in West Africa. ECOWAS' reliance on military intervention as the primary means to addressing political crisis within member states is questionable and warrants further examination. While the organization has the mandate to ensure regional stability, it is crucial to explore alternative approaches that prioritize diplomacy, dialogue, and long-term sustainable solutions. A suggestion that the Nigerian Senate and Parliament have now advised their leader, Ahmed Tinubu, to stand off, stay away from. One alternative approach for ECOWAS is to focus on preventive diplomacy, where ECOWAS proactively engages with member states to address underlying issues that may lead to political instability or coup d'etats. This could involve facilitating dialogue between political actors, civil society organizations, and other stakeholders to resolve grievances, promote inclusivity, and strengthen democratic institutions. By addressing root causes and promoting peaceful conflict resolution mechanisms, ECOWAS can potentially prevent crises such as the one under review from escalating to the point of military intervention. ECOWAS should foster regional cooperation and integration as a means to addressing common challenges and build resilience against political crisis. This includes promoting economic integration, trade, and investment among member states. By creating opportunities for economic growth and development, ECOWAS can address some of the underlying socio-economic factors that contribute to political instability, political coup d'etats in that region. It is also very, very essential for ECOWAS to strengthen its monitoring and early warning mechanisms to detect and to respond to potential crises more effectively. By enhancing intelligence sharing and analysis, ECOWAS, the Economic Commission for West African States, can proactively identify warning signs and take timely preventive action. This would allow the organization to address issues before they escalate, reducing the need for military intervention as a reactive measure. It is imperative for Nigeria, as the leading force within ECOWAS, to prioritize its own pressing internal problems, instead of leading the charge for military intervention in Niger. Nigeria is grappling with numerous challenges. Oil subsidy challenges, for example, high inflation, election issues, and widespread socio-economic disparities. These issues demand urgent attention and resources too, which would be better utilized to alleviate the hardships faced by its own citizens. Redirecting attention and resources towards a military coup, or what I describe as military intervention in Niger, would divert much needed efforts and resources and exacerbate the economic challenges facing Nigerians today. Engaging in a military intervention in Niger would not only divert attention from internal problems in Nigeria, but also potentially lead to a protracted conflict with severe humanitarian consequences between Niger and Nigeria, at least the boundary territories. The Nigerian people are already facing significant challenges, including poverty, insecurity, and inadequate access to basic services. The prospect of a war that would further strain resources, displace communities, and increase the suffering of Nigerians is deeply concerning. And Nigerian northern elites are dutifully expressing their reserve to the leader of Nigeria, Ahmed Tinubu. Instead of prioritizing military intervention, Nigeria should play a leadership role within Ecowas by focusing on conflict prevention, regional diplomacy, and supporting sustainable development initiatives. By addressing its own internal problems and promoting stability within its borders, Nigeria can serve as a positive force for change and contribute to regional peace and prosperity.